Bible, there are books that are called major prophets and minor prophets. The only difference is the major prophets are ones that wrote more than the minor prophets wrote less. And not that they're less important. And we've been studying the book of Isaiah. Isaiah has 37,407 words. That's a lot of words. And yet it's just the third largest of the four major prophets. And certainly a great deal more words than even some of the Gospels and a lot of the letters that were written. So what is it that we're supposed to learn from these prophets? I think one of the things that's encouraging to me is that God is God. And if we could understand everything that he has given to us, it would put us on an equal footing with God. As I began to research today Isaiah chapter 18, I recognized several things that were true about it. The book of Isaiah is broken down into parts. And in those parts, there are certain things that we know about it. We know the general outline of the book of Isaiah. We know that it's not always in chronological order. We know that Isaiah has sections, chapters 1 through 35, about judgment and condemnation. Chapters 36 through 39, historical and transitional. Chapters 40 through 66, a messianic hope. Most exciting chapters, obviously, the messianic hope. And we know that there are many prophecies that were made in the book of Isaiah that we can see fulfilled, some within Isaiah's life and some not. And we understand many times which nations he's talking about as we've seen the fulfillment of those prophecies. But when we get to chapter 18 today, as I looked at least 4 different commentaries, respected theologians who had looked to see the hundreds of theologians over the centuries who had tried to explain chapter 18. And they say that it is one of the most difficult chapters in all of Isaiah. It's hard to tell who it's written to, who it's written about, and all of its meaning. It seems that God may have made it clear to Isaiah and maybe to the people who the prophecies were made to more clearly than he did to us. But again, I would say to you that it proves to me that God is God. And if I could understand everything he does and everything about his word, it would put me on an equal with God. And that I certainly know is not the case. So what can I say about chapter 18? Well, the one thing that I can say about it is it talks about judgment and how blessed are those who understand God's judgment and take heed of God's judgment, his warnings. As I look at Isaiah in chapter 18, I recognize that it could be Egypt that he's talking about. He could be talking about a prophecy that did occur or a prophecy that may occur in the future. But one thing I can understand, and that is God respects those who take heed of his warnings. When you stop and you think and you allow God to impress upon you his thoughts, his warnings, his reminder of something that you've done or left undone that needs to be taken care of, God honors those who take heed to what he has to say. Can I get a great deal out of chapter 18 for me personally in application? Not in the specifics of chapter 18. Can I get a great word from God about how he honors those who take heed to his word? to his warnings, to his reminders, to those things that we should do or shouldn't do. Oh, yes, there's a great lesson there for all of us. God honors those who take heed at his word. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day. Oof, 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 oof.